Hello, this is wmpyr. For today's lesson, we're going to be covering blade awareness. This is actually a continuation from the last video. And before in the past, what I've been doing was throughout the week, I pretty much did whatever I felt like doing. And that meant that sometimes every day I would do something different. And the reality is nobody trains like that. So the new format, what I'm going to be doing is for the entire week, I'm going to concentrate on one subject. Okay, so let's get started. In the previous video, I showed you guys basically the Heaven 6 and doing it with the blade like so. And the main focus here was to make sure that your blade, your weapon, was completely past the arm. So it wasn't right here, okay, that you could get away doing that with the sticks, but with the blade, you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that the blade goes past the arm for sure. So even when it's up here, it needs to be past and not right here. So I demonstrated that, and if you can do the Heaven 6, then please practice that. If you can't, don't worry about it. Please treat that video as a demonstration. All right, so for today's lesson, I'm going to focus on something that's a little bit simpler so there's more people that can actually practice this. And this is the most basic arm weaving, which is just going like this and like this. So I am alternating arms. The right hand goes on top and then the left hand goes on top, just like this. So it's close, open, close, open. All right. Now, at this point, you have to understand that this is for exercise. This is for practice, okay? And what makes it ready for combat, it's really up to you, okay? You're going to add in more and more details, and the more details that you add, the closer you're going to get to make the technique combat ready. So that's up to you, okay? Your experience and how much detail you put in. So at this point, if you're just going like this, this is the first level. Okay, this is not ready for combat. If you're going to actually use this for combat, you're probably going to have to be a really, really big, impressive, strong, brutal, vicious guy, and your opponent has to be very weak. Okay, but like I said, we're going to add details, and it's up to you to evolve it as much as you can. And then you have a better chance of pulling it off in a real-life situation, in self-defense, in combat, whatever. So the first detail, for example, is like as you bring the arm over, the one with a knife right here, you're going to focus on the edge right here. So you're actually slashing instead of just putting your arm like this and like that. You're actually focused on the slash right there, and then you turn the blade this way so that when you come back, you can also focus on the slash right here. Okay, so that's one thing that you can do. Boom, boom. That now makes it a little bit more combat realistic in that direction. Okay, so that's one detail. Another detail, for example, is now this hand, the free hand, can be used to shove a limb so that I can cut the bicep, let's say. I could be grabbing them and pulling them. So as I pull them and I cut right here, let's say that's their neck right here. So this hand now actually has a function instead of just doing this. All right, so now I can actually pay attention to this. So as I'm cutting over here, this hand is now pushing like this. And then as I come back here, now this is kind of like a wedge here that I'm actually using to shove again as I cut. So now this makes the exercise a little bit more combat realistic. So once again, the more details you add, the closer you get to making it more realistic. So one more thing, which is the actual focus for the week, is going to be blade awareness. So as you're doing 1 and 2, as you're doing this, the main focus here is to make sure that the blade goes past the arm right here, and then come back. And then over here, this hand right here, in case I have a weapon over here, it needs to go past the hand. Not here, but here. Okay? Now there are different schools of thought. Okay, so if you come from a different school of thought and you actually want to put the blade on you like this, okay, you might come from a style where they actually do that, where they place the blade on themselves for, it could be to make it more deceptive and make it harder to detect, all right? Maybe they have that purpose, but it doesn't change the fact that if they get tackled, if they get shoved, if they get grabbed and thrown against the wall or something, or if they have to engage the ground, that this can be dangerous to you. And you have to have another step to know how to deal with that. If you are placing the blade right against your body, if you are, being like this to where you're hiding it, okay? So if that's what you're doing, you're going to have another step to learn how to survive a situation like that. So in my case, right now with blade awareness, the first step is I'm saying don't put it here, put it over here. Because if someone tackles me while I have this, and they shove my arms like this, and they shove me against the wall, and I'm struggling, now I'm a danger to myself. So one way to avoid that, one way of thinking is to go ahead and pass the knife beyond. So this way, if I do get shoved or I do get tied up like this, end up in a grappling situation that I don't want, then I can recover and start hitting them with the puño, the back part right here, like so, okay? And try to recover that way, not let them take me down, and then go into knife fighting, what I want to do, all right? So that is one way of thinking. So make sure that you go past up here and come back, past and come back, all right? Now the other thing is, that's deep. This is very, very deep to go all the way over here and then come back, go all the way over here. The other thing is you can go here, okay? This is shallow. It's not, my arms aren't all the way across. Arms are right here. If it is here, make sure that the blade is still past. Even here, if we're using the same logic, I don't want the blade right here, okay? I don't want the blade like this. This can cut me, all right? So I want to be past, just like this. So if it comes this way, I want to make sure that I pass, not right here, okay? So pass and pass. Another good way to see it is if you have a firearm, see this becomes your base right here. I come over here, okay? And then if this is the firearm, it's over here. If this is the blade and this is the firearm, still I can operate, or maybe this one could be the flashlight over here. So either way, they're not going to get in the way of each other, okay? I don't want it right here because if it's a flashlight, I'm going to be flashing on my own arm. But if I come down this way, it's much easier for me to direct it where I want to, and I still have the firearm. So even from that logic, it's going to work out pretty well. So just make sure that you pass completely past your arm. Pass completely past your arm. So that's the lesson for today. Thank you for watching, and take care, folks.